Hi guys, and welcome back to Daniel Does the DFW. I am Daniel. If you don't know that by now, you should. Thanks. Pause for, insert a noise there. Today I'm so excited because I'm excited every single week, aren't I? Really, I'm really excited every single time. I'm even more excited because I have another creative person on my show this time. Instead of just showcasing all the singing talent that we have out there, let's branch out into some creatives as well. And so I'm excited to have this person on today. So please help me welcome Rebecca Lowrey.
Hi.
All right. So full name, did I pronounce it correctly?
Yes, Rebecca Lowrey. That's correct.
Wonderful. And pronouns?
She, her.
Wonderful. Not queen or piano master.
Yeah, that too. That's true.
It was like master. It was like those
I like
Dom vibes.
I'm okay with Queen. Like I feel like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah.
Whether it's zombies or a bomb, I don't care. But I do feel like that I will rise to like some sort of queen status. So
I just imagine everybody's like, I mean, we're already there. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, no. Yeah. We're playing Little Pumpkin. Magic Carriage. Rebecca and I have actually never been in a room together, maybe?
I don't think so. I think our admiration is online.
I think one time maybe I passed in a room when you were rehearsing one day with Theater Arlington. Mm-hmm. But other than that, and then I was supposed to do something with you, but then I got a gig.
Yeah, at Newark's Cabaret, and then you had some stuff going on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I couldn't do that, which I promise that's not how I always am. Book me, please. But yeah, we've never been able to work together. And
right.
But just from so many friends that have talked with you or worked with you, I know what a presence you are in the DFW area. And so when Rebecca was actually the one who DM'd me, slid into my DMs.
Ask me.
Yeah, and was like, I want to do this. And so I was like, please. So I'm glad that you reached out because I don't think I would have thought immediately to be, because you're such a force, right? Where I'm like, she's always busy and out of town.
That is true. I am always busy and out of town, but this worked out.
Yeah. So I love it. And like I said, just hearing from everybody and the amount of stuff that you do in this area that we're going to really get into as well, because I want to use this platform so that you can share everything that you do with us. But tell me a little bit of your background. Are you from the area? Where'd you grow up?
Grew up in the Metroplex. So I was born in Dallas and grew up in Garland for most of that. And then went to school in Abilene and then came back after school and based in Fort Worth for like 7 years. Then I've been everywhere. So Grapevine, Plano, Dallas, Farmers Branch, and really have been full-time in DFW up until COVID. And then when COVID hit, I actually moved out to our farm in Arkansas and kind of based there. And now I split my time between here in DFW, farm in Arkansas, and New York City. So I'm just kind of always in a plane or a car, and I'm going to do that until it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. They need to figure out a way to put a piano in a car.
I mean, yeah, maybe.
I guess in a Tesla.
Probably. I like my car time though, because that's when I get a lot of like phone calls done and a lot of catching up. Also when I listen to a lot of music. I don't listen to music during the day normally. So I like my car time.
Yeah, no, I'm in the habit now of calling people when I'm in the phone.
In the car, yeah. Yes. No, that's when I get a lot of good phone calls in.
Right?
In
it's
the
just
car.
like,
yeah.
I don't know what it is about that, like hitting the pavement and just being like, I could talk forever until I get to my next destination.
Have you seen that TikTok where it's like, you get home, they said I've called everybody in the car and no one answers, and then you get home and they're all calling back and you're just like,
no. And literally, you can ask Amanda sitting behind the desk, because I'm like, no, I'm already home.
Yeah, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
No.
I had nothing to talk about. I was just going to talk to you because we were in the car.
Yes, literally. So, did you come out of the womb playing piano?
No, so I started playing at 5 years old, but we were those kids that like, we did everything. So our parents put us in all of the things. So music, dance, sports, 4-H, sewing, all of it. We left some of those things behind and we found out what our strengths were.
Find in our next segment where Rebecca dances for us.
Oh, let's not. I mean, if it's Zumba, I can do that.
Yeah.
Like if I was ever responsible for choreographing anything, it would all be Zumba moves. And I mean, it would be sexy jazz squares, and some really hot grapevines, and then Zumba moves.
I love the
and
hot
that would be
grapevines.
the whole show.
Look, I see like hip rolls with those grapevines.
But past that, and don't ask me to turn around. No, absolutely not. Front only. So we did everything and started playing the piano at 5, and that was the one thing that stuck, and I'm so glad it did, and I'm so glad that my parents never let me quit, because it would get hard, and I would say, oh, this is too hard, and then I would move past it. And I just kept playing. At 12 years old, I played for my first musical, Sound of Music. It was a 2-piano version. And that was like when I got bit by the theater bug. And then also my first church job at 12 years old. And that's really where I learned how to sight read, because you can't stop. You're getting new music every Sunday. And that really stretched that muscle. I went to a very small Baptist university in Abilene, Texas. I was a big fish in a small pond, and I got to play for everything. And so I accompanied for every voice lesson. I've probably been in more voice lessons than a normal vocal major, and I got to hear altos and sopranos and tenors and basses and everyone and all different styles of music and with all different vocal issues. And that was just a lot of osmosis from that. Also played for opera and theater and university. And then I moved here and didn't do any music for a little bit. And that was a nightmare. It's like, oh man, I have to create. So started doing musicals and music directing. And here we are. And that's what I do.
Wow. What was maybe your first break in professional here, if you want to talk about it?
Yeah. So I did a lot of stuff. I mean, gosh, it's been a long time. So we're about to be 20 years in DFW as an adult, as a professional post-college.
You started before then.
Yeah, I know, right? And I've played everywhere. I mean, there's not a theater really that I haven't had some experience with, whether it was, music directing or playing for their auditions. Right before COVID was when things were really getting exciting. And it's also when I made my transition from exclusively music directing to also directing. I kind of got to this point where I was like, you know what, I want to make the opportunities happen. And so Theater Arlington actually here was where I directed my first show, which was Plaid Tidings. And that was like, okay, here we go, #women direct. I can do this, I can do both. And then the opportunities have just been great from that. And then we kind of had that big pause, but we're getting back to it.
Yeah, no, I wasn't able to see that, but I mean, you had an amazing cast.
That's 90% of it. My secret sauce is in the casting. If you get the right people, and if you get the people that maybe everyone else might not consider, that's when you're really going to have some magic happen. But casting is the part. And I want to work with people who want to be there, right? Who want to do the show. That is also the other half of the battle. But yeah, Plaid Tidings was awesome. We had Jason Phillips Solis, Brandon Bailey, Jamal Houston, and Joshua Sherman. It was a ridiculous cast. That show is hard. It is really, really difficult. But that was a really fun one.
Yeah, I cannot stand Jason Phillips Solis.
And they knew you were going to say that. We were texting on the way here today, actually, and they wanted to know, one, why did you cancel on them, and two, when is he going to get the opportunity to do this, right? So Jason Phillips Solis is my best friend in the entire world.
My boat sister that is just the most loving person.
Yeah.
I've ever met.
Jason, just phenomenally talented in everything that they touch. Absolutely phenomenal choir director, great music director, fabulous vocalist. There's nothing that they can't sing. It's just really, really great.
Literally.
And then in Plaid Tidings, I made him play piano, and he did that too.
Are you serious?
Yeah, and it was really good. Stressed him out. He'll tell you. He probably still is going to therapy because of that. But yeah, phenomenally talented. I would put him in every show that I could do.
Your video, which we need to post a link for it, of the
COVID conducting.
Yes!
And that was before TikTok for me or for anything. That was right at the beginning of everything shutting down. We probably were supposed to be staying at home at that time, but we'll just pretend that he was my roommate. And we were putting on songs like Frozen and Lizzo, and he just started conducting to it. And for a Facebook video, it's got like a lot of views, but if it had been TikTok, like we probably had like 6 million views, and we probably would hate each other by now because we would be so desperately trying to put out content on a regular basis.
But it's you like laughing, crying at the same time. That is just, it makes it all together.
I am
because he is just the most like
professional.
Yes.
And I'm reading the comments too. So like I'm reading the comments that are coming through, and I am being so tickled, and I'm so glad that we had it filmed and that it was just a Facebook Live. We were just being ridiculous and going on Facebook Live, and so yeah, we'll put the link. So
yeah, no, for sure, because it was one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and I think you really do have this way of knowing what's funny at the same time. I think you have a comedy about you.
Thank you.
That I really enjoy. But with that, we're gonna go to something serious.
Okay, I'm ready.
So we're actually gonna take a break first.
Okay.
And we're gonna go over to the piano and do our first little segment at the piano together.
Yeah, I can do
so
that.
Something serious, something that we can really take in all together as an audience. So catch us at the keyboard here in a bit.
Wow. I mean, I've never, ever heard somebody just like make that one note sing.
Thank you.
Like you really have a gift.
Took a lot of practice, honestly.
Yeah, I mean, we should do this more often.
We really should.
Like a tour, right?
See you on tour.
The one notes.
It really touched my soul.
Did it?
It really, more touched my soul than my whole.
Your words, not mine.
Well, we'll edit it out later. Probably not, honestly. We left golden showers in.
I didn't watch that episode.
So thank you for accompanying me.
Yeah, that's fun.
Like I said, see us on tour, y'all. I mean, like Rebecca said, it's gonna happen. No, I want more of your insight in what you are really. I was gonna say best at, but no, you have so many like talents that you're not even best at it. You're just a pro at it at this point, right? You have played for so many auditions, like you said. You basically have helped build the audition, right, catalog here in DFW. Yeah. And I mean, you've not only trained them, built their book, but then also play for their auditions.
Yeah, so pre-COVID, I mean, that was the main service that I was offering DFW actors and creatives was audition prep. And that kind of started out of friends and shows going, hey, I have an audition coming up. And I'd be like, hey, just come over, bring a bottle of wine and we'll work on your songs. And then it turned into so much more than that. And in 2019, so right before everything shut down, I had 363 unique audition prep clients. Some of them came in once, some of them came in multiple times. But what that allowed me was I knew like every voice in DFW and I knew what they could do outside of just that 1 30-second audition. But it also really created for me a vocabulary and a skill of helping folks with audition prep. And because it's just confidence. That's really what it is. And for some people, just having that 30 minutes to focus and go, okay, let's make sure my cut is right. Let's make sure my music is right. What do I sing first? Do I have anything ready if they ask for something else? For a lot of folks, that was all they needed. I wasn't really doing anything for them except for providing a space to just get their thoughts together, get their confidence up, and be ready to go in and nail that audition. So it also helped my casting because I could tell in an audition, is this person just really good at auditioning? Can they bring it after that? Or the opposite. Some people just aren't good at auditioning, and that's okay because it's stressful. Your adrenaline gets going, and so I would really know what they could bring to the table, even if they flubbed that 30 seconds in front of the room, which is stressful. But it also kind of created for me this desire to make sure that the audition room was as comfortable and welcoming as possible. So a lot of things that I started to do to make things more equitable, make things easier in my audition rooms was providing rehearsal tracks and like the callback information ahead of the original audition. I'm totally a fan of singing songs from the show. I think that's a great way to come in and do that. And so really trying to make sure that the auditions were as accessible and as fun as possible. I'm not a big fan of like huge callbacks either. So like 9 to 5, for example, was one of the last shows that I directed before COVID. And we only called back for 2 roles because everybody else showed me what I needed to see in the audition. They either sang from the show or they just came in and nailed it, or I already, knew what they could do. And we just had 2 roles that we had a bunch of people that could have kind of been anything. And that's all we had callbacks for. These theaters that are doing these 5 and 6 hour callbacks, that's insane to me. It's a lot of work. And so on both sides, for the people who are coming back to do the callback and for the folks who are making the decisions, sometimes we got to go with our gut a little bit. Also backup plans for our backup plans. So I love to have, especially in this post-COVID era, always having extra people who can, pop into these different roles and be understudies essentially, if not just like, extra people who are ready to go and take the role. You just had an understudy opportunity, didn't you?
I did.
How was that?
Oh, so stressful.
But you did it.
Yeah, so great at this.
Yeah.
I mean, getting that call, because I think our call was like 1 o'clock or something, and I wasn't called until like almost 11.
Wow.
Where they were like, hey,
You're
have you
going
heard
on.
anything? Yeah, and I was like, and when the producer asked me, or the general manager was like, you think you can do it? And I was like, I don't think I have any other answer.
Right.
So sure, why not? And he's like, well, I need you to.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay, let's do it. Yeah, no, I think I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
It's that rush that I really do. As much as I hate it, as actors and as performers, I think that's what we crave. That rush.
It really is. It's so I've had a couple of awesome, last minute put-ins and shows that are just, it's fun and it's exhilarating and everyone pulls together and makes it happen. No one wants you out there failing.
Yes.
So that's really fun.
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it so much. It was definitely surprising, but a good time overall. As far as your audition prep, are you still offering that? Is that something?
So it's difficult. So I don't really have kind of a home base here right now in DFW, so it's hard for me to schedule. One of the beauties before COVID was that I just had this calendar that was open and people could sign up whenever and just pop in and do a 30-minute in the middle of my day, and it worked. I do some coaching in New York when I'm up there. I do some coaching here. But I just tell people just to let me know. It's not as easy to get time with me as it used to be because I don't have that calendar that's just always open. But I love it. I love helping people out with their auditions.
Nice. One thing I do want to touch with you as well.
Let's touch.
is since you are someone who's behind and sorry if I'm putting you on the spot.
Yeah.
But I think that's why we're here, right? Since you are someone who is behind those casting tables and stuff like that, what efforts do you feel you make as a creative to make sure that we are representing, every type of diverse group?
It starts so early. It's way before the day of the audition. So we have to actively reach out to the people groups that we want to show up at our audition. First and foremost. The thing that will just drive me up the wall and I will go to bat is when a theater will announce a show and there's clearly a lack of diversity, and then you confront them about it and their response is, well, this is who showed up to audition. You've got to get out there. You've got to make your theater, you've got to make your creative team a safe space for people of color, for our non-binary and trans individuals, and let them know that they are wanted and that they are needed and that there are roles for them. That's always been really important to me. But it starts way before the audition. That's like, I could talk about that for an hour though. That's a big thing, but you've got to let, and it's hard because I think the flip side also is, there are actors who go, well, I'm not going to work at that theater. And I think that is valid, but I also really recommend, looking at the creative team, looking and seeing what their casts were for their other shows, see if they're casting diversely to know that they can, have an opportunity, a seat at the table. Also, it's about having diversity behind the table as well and having people of color on your creative teams. Obviously, I'm big on #WomenDirect, and I like to have creative teams that are full of women, but we also have to take that step further and have people of color as well.
Wonderful, I love that. So here's where I'm gonna dig into a little bit more as well, because somebody that I know that you've worked with, right, has now been a little bit outspoken recently in the past, someone that you were on that creative side with. And so I kind of wanted to dig in a little bit about Brian Cloudis.
Woo, that's a fun name. That's a fun name.
And I know, and I'm sure, what's so sad to me is that I'm sure Sound of Music has such a place in your heart because it was your first show, as you said.
It was, and Sound of Music was my first show, and Sound of Music will also be my last show that I ever do that's not a new musical. So right before COVID, I did do Sound of Music with Brian Cloudis, Experiences. It was the most massive, epic production that I've ever been a part of. It was out at the Promise in Glen Rose. We had a boat and water and fire and flames and big flags that were 10 by 10 of a certain symbol. I mean, it was over the top. Personally, I had a lovely time with Brian, but it wasn't until after our experience working together that everything came out. And for me, it was a really quick, never again, not gonna do that. And I think the lesson that I learned from that is that if you're confronted with something, you need to address it and you need to deal with it. So and there's, especially when there's just untold amount of stories out there, and it's really unfortunate for those folks that, you know, had really bad experiences with him. He's on my do not work list, just because for some people it might be totally fine and totally safe, but if any of my actors are not going to be in a good experience, I'm not gonna, you know, promote that.
And I think that's where it is, right?
Yeah.
If you are the type of person that you know that somebody on your team or potentially on your team could not make somebody else safe,
right,
and you are like, well, then I can't just work
I can't do it. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because I mean he is a brilliant creative mind. You can't cancel that out, you know, but if it's not a safe environment for all of your actors and your staff, like that's not gonna work.
All crazy people are a little smart and creative.
Maybe. Takes a little mental illness to do this.
That's why, and he's got a lot of it, so.
Clearly. You said it.
I mean, I sure did.
Yeah.
But I wasn't there with him storming the Capitol, so.
I was, well, that's the thing, is like, you know, everybody, you're not the first person to ask. Like, you know, I don't have any personal stories about Ryan. I can't say, oh, well, I was in the room when he did this or whatever.
Yeah.
That didn't happen. But just a quick Google.
Literally, right?
Just a quick Google and you go,
yeah, ooh, never mind.
I don't want to do that.
Yeah, no, well,
Pass,
and
pass.
I'm glad that you, and I knew that was your point anyway.
What would you have said if I was like, we're opening a show next week? No, that's a lie.
We would have cut tape. No, well, and I, like, part of it is, like, the company you keep, right? And you want to protect the people that are around you, right? And I sense it off of you. Yeah. And so, why would you want to work? Yeah.
No, it's definitely unfortunate.
Like, we're actually doing Heather's finally, because that whole production.
See, and like that was such a cool concept, and I wanted it to work for him, you know, and I would have, you know, been a part of it if things started crumbling pretty quickly. And then also just the fact that they were trying to produce that during the height of COVID. No, we can't do that. We needed to take a break, and it was good for everyone.
Speaking of taking a break. We are gonna go ahead and scoot back over for our. I'm gonna sing this time.
Oh yes, you are. I'm not singing. That's for sure.
Can you imagine?
I mean, but that's what you normally do. But I kind of like the switch though.
That's for the last one. You're singing for the last one.
Okay. Well, hopefully we can play "Jesus Loves Me." That's about all I can sing. Or "Mary Had a Little Lamb." That's a good one.
Yes, I can find the notes. Yeah.
Awesome.
But we're gonna get over there and I'm gonna sing a little bit. So we'll see you in a bit. So excited to finally have you behind the keyboard. I don't think we've ever collaborated together.
No, I don't think so.
Ever. You don't even know if I can actually sing.
I don't, and that's what's super fun about this, right? Because that's normally I have no idea what's going to come out of someone's mouth, but it doesn't matter. I still have to play what's here and save you when you make a mistake, right?
Yeah, which we're actually going to test Rebecca. I don't even know this song.
Right. So it's going to be fun. I have played this song. I don't think I've ever played it in this key, but
thanks for giving away that I changed the key, Rebecca.
There's no shame in that.
Yeah.
No shame. I'm all about transposing. It just puts it in fun keys.
Thanks. Yeah. So we're all about trans rights, transposing.
Yes.
Everything. So,
yes. Trans lyrics, all the things. Whatever happens.
All right. So I'm going to be singing Middle of a Moment from James and the Giant Peach. Let's do it. This is what my family has to be. Then I don't need one watching over me. Family doesn't make you sleep outside. Family doesn't laugh and say you've lied. Remember what a home is. Think of what your life should be. You're stuck in the middle of a moment. Can't crawl out of where you are. You're just steps away. The world's okay, but you can't see that far. And there, in the middle of a moment, you're halfway to somewhere new. Keep pushing through. You'll have to think in ways you've never thought. You'll have to make the best of what you've got. Find the the answers hiding in between. See a door that no one's ever seen. Something's there, you feel it. Stop to look, it's all around. But you're stuck in the middle of a moment. No clear path, no shining star. You're just steps away. The world's okay, but you can't see that far. And there, in the middle of a moment, you're halfway to somewhere new. Can't go back. Keep moving through.
Most of it.
So I'm going to give you away because when we were practicing that song earlier, there was a moment where Rebecca was just playing chords and she's like, and notes here, and yeah.
This key.
Yes. Then we changed the key I hate.
E sharps, y'all. We're gonna charge extra for E sharps.
Goodness. So I will pay you extra what we're paying you to be on the show.
Great, amazing. Let's triple it.
Yeah. Honestly, for you.
Let's do it.
I will do it in a heartbeat. Let's talk a little bit about maybe some dream shows or dream roles.
Dream shows, dream roles. So if I ever was to be on stage, like not behind, a table, Hello Dolly, right? So, because I don't think I would have to act at all. I just am a matchmaker by trade, whether it's romantic.
Can we talk later?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
Just tell me what you want. I'll find it.
A man.
Okay.
That's all.
Well, I figured.
Are you assuming that I'm a homo?
I'm assuming. I am.
Adding that to the list.
But yeah, so I'm a natural matchmaker, whether it's people or projects or people with projects. So Hello Dolly, I think, is a lovely show. I had a great opportunity to music direct there in Denton with a 19-piece orchestra. So I love Hello Dolly. I think dream show, I think the only existing musical that would pull me out of new musicals would be Waitress. I think I would like to music direct Waitress. There's also a beautiful show that I saw in New York right before the shutdown called Darling Grenadine, and I would direct that in a heartbeat.
Sorry, I thought you were going to say 5.
5? No, I saw 5. That was interesting. It was an interesting show. Not 6, 5. Darling Grenadine. So that would be stage roles. But that's not for me. I want to be behind the table. And making that jump from music director to director was really important to me. I love musicals, and music is 85% of the show. So it wasn't that big of a jump to do that. And then I think the dream role that I have right now as CEO of Musical Writers is pretty cool. So went from music director to CEO. So yeah, those are my dream roles.
Tell me more about Musical Writers. I know, obviously, it's people who write musicals,
That's right?
And they bring them into you where you can produce them.
Yes.
So tell us more about how you got into that, how you found out about them even, or how you became CEO.
Right. So musicalwriters.com was formerly run by Holly Reed, who actually lives in Tyler, Texas. And right before COVID, we had started having some conversations about me starting to do some of their new works in my living room, because I was doing living room concerts at the time. And then the world shut down, and we still kind of connected. And my first staged reading that I did with them was in July of 2021. And musicalwriters.com, first and foremost, just exists as a resource. My favorite compliment and favorite criticism of our website is, wow, this is an overwhelming amount of information. And it is, because writing a musical is the hardest thing to do. It is the hardest thing to do. If you want to do something easier, go write a play, go write a novel, do any of those other things. So I started with them in early 2021. We did our first show in July of 2021. And since then we've done countless stage readings and table reads. We do a big summer festival here in Texas as well. And we really exist to help writers get their show from page to stage. And that development process includes obviously writing and rewriting and table reads, getting some feedback on the work, finding out what's on the page, but also what's not on the page, and then moving to stage readings. We've actually done quite a few here at Theater Arlington. We're thankful for that support, so that a writer can hear their show out loud, all the lines, all of the songs. And then we've had some great success with shows that we have developed and worked on that have gone off Broadway or had other licensing opportunities, which is really cool. And then last summer, we announced that I'm the new owner and CEO. Holly's still around and we love her. She does my website and graphic design still. She's a fabulous writer and has a show called True North that is moving through the stages of development. Hope to see it on a Broadway stage soon. And so it's exciting for me because as a female director and having worked on some really awesome shows like 9 to 5, Best Little Whorehouse, I mean, some really great shows, the burden is on the director. The burden is on the director and the producer and the creative team to sometimes make these shows less problematic for a 2024 audience. And that's exhausting. It's exhausting. And I just really decided that I'd rather just start with shows that aren't problematic in the first place. I'd rather start with shows that already are not misogynistic or transphobic or homophobic or any of those things. I'd rather start with that than feeling like, oh, now I have to figure out how to diversely cast this. Well, I just want to do shows that already require diversity. I want to do shows that are already not problematic. And that's part of the development process as well, is finding things that are unintentionally offensive and making sure that we're including all different types of people groups in all of the steps. One of my favorite quotes that stands out to me from my friend Chris was, not about us without us. And that's something that's really important to me, that if we're doing a show that has roles or characters that have different lived experiences than myself or my writers, I want to make sure those people are in the room. I want to make sure that they have the opportunity to say, hey, we wouldn't say that way, or I think that's a little touchy of a subject, or what can we do? So that's where my passion came. And COVID really clarified for me that I'm done doing Sound of Music and Mamma Mia. I've done it. I did my time. I've done some great productions of it. I've done Mamma Mia countless times, especially with high schools. Oh my goodness.
Summer in DFW where it was
it was everywhere,
yes.
Right? And so it's what I'm passionate about. There are stories out there that we need to be telling, and I really want to make sure that I'm giving the opportunity to do that. So that's musical writers in a nutshell. There is no one-size-fits-all path to development, and also not every show is destined for Broadway. And so I love working with writers who know that about their show, and they want it to go to universities, or they want it to go to community theaters, or maybe they are writing the raunchiest show ever and they just want it to be, a late night show at a professional theater that they do to, have a late night option. So that's what musical writers is.
We need more Toxic Avengers and
Toxic Avenger, that is one of my favorite shows too. I really enjoy that show.
What's the other one that is another late night? Oh my god, he has a chainsaw. Ash.
Evil Dead.
Yes, Evil Dead is another.
Yeah, so
we need more of those.
Local writer Brian Christensen has lent me a chainsaw, which is getting its first world premiere, fully produced production this fall at Lakeside Community Theater. Oh, wow. We've done 2 staged readings for him on Halloween the last 2 years. The first year, which was 2 years ago, we had a great staged reading of that and got to let people hear it and laugh. We did rewrites, and then this past Halloween, we did a production of it with blood. and it needed the blood, and it was so fun to have all of the gory blood on there, and it's really exciting to see not only a local writer find a path, but that we also have so much support here in DFW to help produce these new musicals.
Love it. Yeah, no, I think that that's so important. And just to go back a little bit on one thing that you talked about, I love that instead of just, trying to fit a piece, of the puzzle in and trying to fit people in, which I think is still important, right? Giving them the opportunity to do roles that they aren't, maybe not necessarily for, but building a whole new puzzle,
Right. I mean, and no shade to the classics, I'm not anti-classics. I'm really not. And I think that there are some really creative ways that folks are doing colorblind casting or non-traditional casting, or they're doing it with a different light. But there are new stories to tell. There really are, and there's some exciting opportunities. And I think that DFW is the best place to do it. And we have such a diverse just community already. We have incredibly talented actors and creatives. And theater, we have so many theaters and so much space to do this in. And I really want DFW to be known as like the place to develop and create new musicals.
So with that, is DFW the only hub currently for musicalwriters.com?
Yeah, so I mean, we have members all over the world, from New Zealand, the UK, we have quite a few members from Israel, Canada, I mean, just all over the place. But I want to create art here. This is where my community is. These are where my resources are. This is where some of the most talented individuals are. Brian Hathaway and Elisa James and Jason Phillips Solis. We've just got so much great talent here. Maybe I'll get you in a show here coming up. I have one that he's on a short list for. We'll see. But yeah, it's really fun to do these new works.
Because I know you are a part of something else that I do want to bring up as well, that has multiple hubs throughout the U.S. called She DFW.
She DFW. So this is another just great opportunity that promotes women writers, non-binary writers, women directors as well. And so it started with She NYC. With Danielle DiMatteo, who's awesome and created this amazing festival. And then they expanded to LA, and then they expanded to Atlanta. And then Sarah Powell and I got connected with her through Georgia Stitt. We did a production of her brand new musical, The Danger Year. And she connected us all up, and we were like, hey, we think DFW needs to be the next city. And of course they were like, oh, well, we thought Austin would be it, or maybe Chicago or Denver or Seattle. And we're like, no, Dallas, Fort Worth is it. And so we are really excited. Plays and musicals have been submitted. We are in the reading process right now, and we'll be announcing 2 plays and 1 musical that will be presented in September. Fully produced shows, everything. It's going to be really exciting. It's just a great opportunity to have that DFW representation on this national scale. I just want people to come see the new art that we've got.
I was just in Sweeney Todd with Sarah, and she was working her butt off reading those scripts.
It is. It's a lot.
Trying to get everything done. And she told me a little bit about, that they told y'all in that initial phone call, we really don't think we want to open another location. We think we're good right now. And she goes, and then by the end of that phone call, we had really talked them into it. Yeah. And she's like, she's ready, and I know that you're ready as well.
Yeah, I am excited. I'm not reading the first or second round of scripts. I'm waiting for the final. Here's the biggest tea, the dirt that I can tell about myself is I hate reading scripts.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you didn't know how to read.
Right, wouldn't that be funny? No, I hate reading scripts, and so I prefer to hear them read out loud. I love table reads for that,
Oh, yeah.
But I don't have a long enough attention span to sit and read a script. And so I'm so thankful that we have such an awesome group of volunteers and folks who are being those first and second round screeners, I guess, for it. And then I'll get the cream of the crop and figure out what's gonna get produced.
Nice. Any other tea that you need to spill, or anything else that you feel that this is your moment?
This is my moment.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure I have plenty, but I've not been given a sufficient amount of wine to just to spill it all, right? I mean, it's the afternoon. Are we supposed to pretend that this is like a 10 o'clock, late night? No?
Thanks for ruining the facade.
I'm sorry.
I appreciate you. I'm drunk.
No, you're not. I mean, you're a lightweight if you are.
I know I'm light, thank you.
She called me skinny.
Skinny legend. Yeah. No, I can't think of anything other tea that I would want you to spill. I mean, maybe off camera.
Yeah. That's when we start charging, right? Like that's the Patreon.
Yes.
That's the and then 50% goes to musical writers.
Yeah.
And then you can take the other 50%.
Yeah.
If enough people comment that they want tea, then we can.
Do you know, we're actually gonna bleep this out. If you want to know what she really wants to know about.
Hashtag women direct.
Hashtag women direct. But no, I do want to thank you for coming on the show today. I had a blast. It feels like, we are old friends.
I know. I think we can be friends now. Like for real.
I think so.
Yeah.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
It's fun.
I know. Let's take a trip to New York together.
I would love to show you my New York.
Yeah, please. I'm going next weekend.
Are you really?
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to be there next weekend.
Well, I'll be there again in June.
What are you going to see?
Little Shop.
Great. Super fun.
The Notebook.
That was my favorite from this last trip. Number one.
And then, I don't know what else. I really wanted to kind of see Cabaret. Is that the one that's...
Yeah, Cabaret.
But it was so expensive.
It's going to be expensive. It's like $700. Yeah.
So I was like,
maybe
not.
Start entering the lottery for that
or
now.
selling my body.
Yeah. Very cool.
But no, but I want to thank you for coming on. So much fun. Thank you for playing for me.
Yeah.
We're going to do one more before we head out, though.
Okay.
I do want you to plug your socials if you want to share
For sure.
any and all socials that you want.
Yeah, so you can follow us at just Musical Writers, so musicalwriters.com or Musical Writers on Instagram, Facebook, and then my personal is Accompany Musicals. You can find me on TikTok and Instagram. I haven't done TikTok in a while, but there's so much content out there, so go enjoy that. Maybe duet a few songs. But yeah, that's what we've got.
I forgot you did that whole duet thing. Yeah,
that seems like a lifetime ago. But people still sing. Every day I get duets. Every day. And I love it. I love seeing the immense talent that's out there.
Yeah, I think I did a couple, but she never responded. So thank you for coming. She did comment and say, "Why do you have this one out?"
No, I probably commented hashtag keep singing, which people can take either way, right? They can take it as like, wow, you're amazing, keep singing, or wow, you have some work to do, so keep singing. So yeah, that's what I comment on every video that I actually watch and see. I do hashtag keep singing.
When I see a really bad show now, I'm like, keep acting.
Keep doing the thing. Keep doing it.
You keep on. And you know what, y'all? Y'all should keep on keeping on too.
Keep watching. Yes.
Keep watching.
It'll get better.
No, but thank you so much again. Thank you guys for watching. We have one more song to close up the show. Don't forget that you can follow us on social media at Daniel Does DFW. That's on Instagram, Facebook, whatever other things you follow, and look for our Patreon soon where we are charging for content where Rebecca talks about stuff she doesn't want to talk about. Thanks again. Bye, y'all. So excited after that.
What are we excited about?
About more collaborating
and
playing and singing together.
That's right.
Because I've always wanted to do this song as Cher.
Okay. That's a choice. Are we doing it as Cher today?
I mean, it doesn't affect you.
No, you're right. It doesn't. I don't think
it affects me not having the wig.
Unless I'm supposed to be Sunny.
You do the random interjections as Sunny.
That would be great.
I mean, if that works for you and you feel it in the moment and the spirit moves you, because it is from Godspell. I'm doing Turn Back, Oh Man.
Yes.
Should we do it?
Yes. All right, carry on.
Old now is earth and none may count her days. be fair and all men glad and wise. Age after age, their tragic empires rise. That's why they dream, and in that dreaming we would never wake from out his haunted sleep. Turn back, old man. Turn back time, boy. Turn back, old man. Told you, Vince. Turn back, old man. For swear thy foolish
I was hoping for the eat your heart out. That would be great as share.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie.
Yeah.
Hi, sweetie.
Licking the lips.